Everyone, for this Classic Movie Monday, I am going to be briefly discussing the film Good Will Hunting. Good Will Hunting in particular I think is a rather interesting film in that it's fairly recent, almost 20 years old, approaching on 20. So I think it's only fair to put it in this sort of classic category for a variety of reasons. One being, I think the performances in this film are very good, considering we have Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, and Robin Williams playing basically the three sort of leading figures in the film. And they seem to provide a good understanding of their characters, and their interactions, I think, seem fairly genuine, and they feel like it's actual people talking to one another rather than them really putting on a performance. So I think that that's something that at least stands out to me, at least when they're doing sort of their spiel. And the thing that makes this an interesting story is that it approaches intelligence and genius in, I think, a different way than other films that approach genius do. Instead of looking at the miraculous aspects of what being a genius could ultimately mean, this sort of takes I think, more down-to-earth approach by exploring Will Hunting's character, who is played by Matt Damon. And basically, he is a genius, but despite that fact, he has really no ambitions in life. He has no goals. He hangs around with a bunch of people who are maybe not the best of influence. He exposes himself to reckless behavior, and he's just kind of a wild kid who hasn't really grown up yet. And hence we see this kind of behavior as a result of his past, which you will see revealed within the film if you choose to watch it. And what I think makes this film very interesting is the relationships, in particular between Matt Damon's character, Will Hunting, and Dr. Sean McGuire, who's played by Robin Williams. And the interesting thing about these two is that they work off each other really well. And although there are some traumatic moments in this film, there's also some sort of genuine laughs to it. It's not designed to be a film that is in one category, I feel. And it seems like that the comedy and the drama sort of balance out with each other, and you don't feel like it's forced. You feel like this is how genuinely within a situation like this people would interact with one another. So that's why I think this film is presented as being fairly down to earth, and is not intended to be a film that I think is sort of an escapism film like a lot of other films are. So again, this is, I think, why maybe some people would be deterred from such a film, because again, it just has this very down-to-earth approach to it. Unlike some films that are more visually focused. Because again, this film is heavily dialogue based, and you do have to, again, pay attention. It's sort of like The Godfather, you know. You might actually miss a funny line or two if you just tune out and don't pay attention. So, and I think there's a lot of genuine moments in this movie, and I feel like at the heart of it is that it's a really good film, and that's why I think it's definitely worth putting into this classic category. I think Robin Williams does a really good performance, one of, I think, his best. I think one of Matt Damon's best too, and probably Ben Affleck's best too, because it seems like these characters really work off one another really well. And the story does something interesting with the genius, because genius aspect to Will Hunting's character, because you will see how this talent that he has really interferes with his ability to sort of move forward with his life, because again, he's had a lot of trauma that's happened to him, and you'll sort of see how that's really at the heart of the film, and it's really all about choices. It's not about dictating somebody's life. It's about telling people, you know, you have this ability, you know, you have a gift. It's your choice whether or not you use it and how you use it, so to speak. So there's a lot of that involved within the film, so I think that's something that's very important to note. So if you enjoy sort of a more down-to-earth kind of film, I'm sure if you've heard of Dead Poets Society, another Robin Williams film that kind of focuses in on similar things, then I think you would enjoy this film as well. But ultimately, I think that's really all I can say about this film in particular without giving anything really away. It's won numerous awards, so I think it only deserves to be put in this classic category. Some people might say that it is overrated in certain respects, and yes, it's not a perfect film at all by any stretch of the imagination, but I still think that it holds up really well after viewing it again and being able to absorb all of the information in regards to plot and characters. So I think this is something that should, I think, be worth considering when going into the film, is that it's rather down to earth. It's not designed to be a film that focuses heavily on trying to create a spectacle. It's more trying to reflect on maybe real emotions and real relationships. So I think, though, that's really all I can say, but if there are any questions, comments, concerns, I'd be more than happy to answer them. But until next time, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and take care.